Hey everybody, it's Clay here, and welcome back to Far From Robotic, the Control Tech podcast. I've got Ian here.
Hey,
Ian
everybody.
is our plumbing manager, and wanted to get him on here. And also from the last show, I don't know if anybody, I had some people ask, but this is actually Kathy, and I just wanted to introduce her because she is a big part of my life too. She's Kathy, the Kathy Barra.
I got you.
Okay, okay. So we needed to make sure that we give her a little introduction there.
A little bit of love,
So it was important from my daughter Piper that we have her on the podcast. So,
Piper. Love her.
so
Thanks, Kathy.
yeah, thanks, Kathy. Appreciate you. Just sit over there and be quiet. So again, just want to welcome everybody and want to talk about as we go into winter and everything like that, kind of some different tips and tidbits that you can do to help protect your home and everything like that. But first and foremost, again, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got in the industry.
So I started probably about 4 or 5 years ago. Needed a job. Needed a job. Just had my boy. Was working warehouse work nonstop, about 80 hours a week, and just looking for something that was more of a career. At first, I wanted to be a Sparky.
Yeah.
Then I found out that they make about $2 less.
Oh, yeah.
And so I moved into plumbing, and what I found out was they are kind of the ones that want like experience before you go into somewhere that you need to gain experience.
Yeah.
So it just made no sense. I went into plumbing right after that, and I was just attracted to the hard labor of it. And then as I progressed year after year into school, I really found out that um, it's about the quality of life.
Yeah.
And that's what really started to attract me more and more as I went into my career. But that's a little tidbit of how and why I got into it.
Yeah.
Primarily my family, um, and then secondarily, I wanted something that meant something.
Yeah.
Um,
Make a difference.
yeah, and not everybody's writing a book about me, but I write my own book.
That's right.
You know,
That's all
so
we can do.
that's all you can do.
Autobiography.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, it's great. And when you and I met the first time, I could tell initially, I could tell you just had that knack for just being able to communicate and talk with people.
yeah,
So, and you knew what you were doing on the plumbing side, but sometimes it's bigger than that. Like for some of us that come from the technician world, the transition into being a technician saying this is what's wrong and explaining it, most customers understand, but you got to be able to explain it in a way that everybody understands.
everybody. Yeah,
And
English.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. So it's like I saw that and I thought that made sense because we can teach, the plumbing and everything like that, but you can't teach like those people skills. I mean,
yeah,
just the ability to interact with
and
people.
communicate.
Yeah,
Yeah, break it
absolutely.
down to a science, but I like to use analogies.
Yeah,
And analogies are a big case of that.
yeah.
Um, and customers enjoy that as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's easy. Anything you can do to kind of compare a situation, a leaking water heater or something like that
Yeah,
to something else in life. We talk about a lot of times with, runtime on furnaces, comparing it to cruise control on a car,
right.
miles on a car, or
Yeah,
something like that and everything. So there's little things like that that just um, help explain
yeah.
what exactly it is we're doing. Um, so, okay, came here, been with Control Tech now, going on 2 years,
2 years.
I believe, and
Yep.
everything. And so, what's one of the biggest things, biggest takeaways you've learned about just being in here and being in your role and everything like that? And
There is a lot more. Um, there's a lot more help with those that want to make a difference.
yeah,
You get a lot more help from, even technicians in a different trade.
yeah,
Um, and that's what I like about being here at Control Tech is that everybody's kind of on the same team.
yeah,
Um, everybody's very, let's just help them out.
yeah,
Just help the customer out, and I enjoy that. Everybody, the family aspect is a heavy part of that.
yeah,
Um, you know, not only my brother being here, but we have several other families that are here, and it kind of just it makes it feel less of a corporate number.
yeah,
And That's what I like about being here.
Yeah.
Is it's a beautiful constructed family-owned business that uh, personally I was attracted to when I first jumped into it.
Yeah.
So
And I think that's been one of the big things for us is, when I tell people we're a family business, like, yes, I started working here at a young age with both my parents being in the business and
yeah,
everything like that. And my grandfather had been in the business and everything like that. But over time, then, somebody starts and then, next thing you know, one of their family members is
yeah,
working here. And so when we talk about the family business, is not just mine.
not just yours.
There's multiple layers
There
here and
is.
everything, which I love because it's like, yeah, we can go and find people, we can put out ads and everything like that, but we want people who are dedicated and they're going to take care of our customers, but also it's on us to reciprocate that. Like,
Yeah,
I understand things come up, people's kids get sick or they have family emergencies and everything, and our big
life.
thing is like life. Yeah, life
Life
happens,
happens.
and it's like you're not going to get penalized for that because stuff happens. I want you to take care of your family
Yeah,
first. That was one of our big things
yeah,
and everything like that. So yeah, it's been great. And then your department, to see kind of how it's grown over
yeah,
the last year and everything like that, and like also taking guys who had worked in other situations and telling them like it's okay to make a mistake.
yep,
Like, I kind of have that fail forward mentality, like
yes, no.
you're not going to be in trouble for making a mistake.
Mm-mm.
Things happen and everything like that,
And it's nice in our department because if it's fun, it's funny how like one of my guys will make a mistake and then we all pull up.
Yeah.
We'll all show up to help
Yep.
the mistake go away and everybody gets out at a good
Yeah.
time. And that's yeah, it's a beautiful thing and everybody has the same motivation. Um, it's grown into
Yeah.
a beautiful baby.
Yeah, let's get things done and let's take care of the customers, and then we can all go home at the end of the day and we're satisfied that everything went the way
Yeah,
that we wanted it to,
exactly.
and everything like that. So I love that. Maintenance. So like when we talk about like the winter, like winter maintenance and prepping and everything like that, what are, I mean, obviously we have things that we can do, and we'll go into those in a little bit, but what are some things like as we go into winter that our customers and everything can look for? What are things that they should be paying attention to? You've heard all the things like, I've got my sump pump, or how long does the water heater last, or like, should I flush my water heater? Should I not? I heard that you're not supposed to. There's all these things, all these articles and algorithms out on social media and
Yeah,
everything that are telling people a thousand different things. And I think there's some that are true and then some that are, it's a gray kind of answer. And I think, as long as we explain, have you explain kind of what is our stance on that
yeah,
and everything, because we may have our stance and somebody else may have a completely different stance. And I understand both,
yeah.
but it's kind of, just kind of give us some insight. Like, what are things that customers or homeowners can look into to help protect their home during the winter?
Yeah, so during the wintertime, everybody has that period of time, sometimes around January, where it becomes, really cold, and you get that advisory to let your faucets drip. That's true. If you let your faucets drip, you're not allowing the molecules to solidify.
Right.
You're allowing the molecules to move, which eliminates that freeze point. And so the letting your faucets drip is great on those days where it's, the beautiful 10 degrees outside.
Is it
Um,
is it like on the faucets dripping? Is that like all homes, or is it newer home? Is it older homes? Because I always heard that in older homes, but I don't know. Like, does that matter on
It
the
it
newer homes?
matters. It matters at the point where, like, let's say you have a 1950s home,
Yeah.
probably going to have copper or galvanized steel in there.
Okay.
Um, Probably best that you let them drip. Now on the newer homes, you have PEX.
Yeah.
Now PEX has a little bit of a better expansion on it.
Okay.
Now it takes a long time for it to freeze, but it will freeze. So it's always a safe bet to just let them just have and it has to be one.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be all of them. You don't have to turn on all of your faucets.
Right.
It just has to be the one. That way you can have that constant flow of water
Right.
to restrict it from solidifying in
And
the
you said
lines.
like if it gets down below 10 degrees
Y-
outdoor, or
Yeah, and I say 10 degrees because you're gonna have a heat bubble inside.
gotcha.
Nobody's living, hopefully nobody's living in their house at 10 degrees
Right.
inside. So, if you just let them bleed out, that heat bubble will take care of the rest.
Gotcha.
Um, Now, if you have a crawl space, it could get kind of shifty just because we don't know what you're allowing into the crawl space.
Right.
It could be a lot cooler. And so, again, just let
Right.
your faucets bleed out. Um, Now to extend on that, with the pipes solidifying, what we've noticed is, when it happens, life happens, you forget your hose on your hose bib,
Yeah.
um,
All the time.
all the time. Everybody does it. And so if you happen to forget it, in the first few freezes, your likelihood of that pipe being froze is skyrocketed by the
Gotcha.
time spring comes around. And so to prevent that, take your hoses off, um, put your cones on, insulate it as much as possible.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, that's what happened. I think that's what happened to me because Kellen came out
yep,
and had to replace both of mine
yep,
because I would remember to put it on, but it was after that like first
first freeze.
freeze, and then I'm like, I got to put them on,
Yep,
and I thought I was doing the right thing, and then I go to turn them on in the spring, and it just everything was just all over the place
yeah.
outside.
And it only takes a few seconds.
Yeah.
Because you got to think you're on average, you got about 60 to 70 psi
Yeah.
behind that water. And so as soon as you turn that valve on, seconds.
Yep.
And then, you're looking at water damage.
And hopefully you have a shut off
Yeah,
inside or a main
yeah,
you can get to.
yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
And that's why I always try to, I'm valve crazy. If
Yeah.
I see a valve that could be put there, I'm gonna
Yeah.
suggest putting a valve there.
Yep.
Because having the access to be able to shut your valve off, at your manifold or at your main, to eliminate water at all in that line is perfect.
Yeah.
I even know some customers that like to have it blown out.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad idea either. So, some of the ways you can prevent,
Yeah.
most definitely.
So covering those and also disconnecting the hoses
Yes.
because a lot of people I see, I mean, obviously you can't put the cone on without disconnect the hoses, but a lot of people, myself included, would like leave them on, and then I'm like, oh my god, I got to put the cones on. And I go out and take those off, and then put the cones on and
Yeah.
everything like that, and it drive me nuts.
And sometimes what you'll find is when you take that hose off and it's been freezing outside, is you'll have an icicle.
Yeah,
And it's because the water that was left in the hose has now tracked itself into the hose bib.
gotcha.
Yep,
And that's a nightmare.
it is.
Yeah.
Because then
Water is not selfish. It does what it wants, when it wants.
when it
It goes
wants,
wherever it wants, and
it's
that's why.
lazy.
Yeah, and I mean, admittedly, like before we got into the whole plumbing world,
Yeah,
that was the one thing that that my dad and I had discussion about. He's like, I want to get into it, but I just hate water.
it's a
Hate
beast.
water. I hate it. And I was like,
Yeah,
I get you because it doesn't care.
it doesn't.
I had a when we moved into our house that we're in now, when they moved our washer and dryer, one of the hoses on the washing machine had come off,
Mm,
like one of the factory hoses from
yeah.
when they moved it, and we didn't know. And I'm running it, and I hear water dripping in the basement, and our laundry room's on the main level.
Oh, no.
And so I go in there, and I'm like beside myself because I'm like, we just moved in this house.
Yeah,
We just moved in, and then it just you can hear the water just
Murphy's
gushing
Law.
down, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. And so got it fixed and everything, but like I never trusted that washing machine after that.
Oh,
I think we
yeah.
got rid of it.
And you're always giving
Yeah.
it the side eye.
Yeah.
You
Yeah. And
gonna
I'm
do it
just like,
today?
yeah, I know. I know. And it would just like, it would just sit there. Yeah. And I couldn't trust it. So I had to get rid of it.
Yeah.
But it was one of those things like, it just didn't care. The water just went, it just said, I don't care about your house and you just moved in. I'm just going to go destroy your basement
Yep.
and
Path
good
of
luck.
least resistance.
Yeah.
It
Yes.
goes wherever.
Yep.
It
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 does
does not
not
care.
care. No,
That one bit.
no,
And
no.
it's sticky. It'll
Yeah.
go and you'll find it just sticking on baseboards
Yeah.
as it's way down, and it'll carry
Just wick
and
right in there.
just get right. Yeah. And it'll just, and I believe that's one of the highest, claims
Really.
on home insurances is water damage.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
happens more often than you think.
Yeah.
Um, and it just can be easily prevented by having to stop by and take a look at things that you don't normally take a look at.
Yeah.
Um, especially hose bibs.
Yeah. And I mean, it's like what you told me. It's like the easy thing we tell our customers is when they say, what do you inspect? And you guys have always said anything the water touches.
Hmm. Everything
So,
from head to toe on the entire house.
yep. And so I think that was a big one for me because, there's little things that you don't think about, like a lot of people call for plumbing and they're thinking primarily like maybe bathroom sinks, water heater, stuff like that. But there's so many other
There is.
things
Yeah.
in the home, and having those checked and having those maintained annually and having like if you start to see, if we go out there one year, because a lot of people are like, well, I want to have the water heater flushed, and then we inspect everything. But if we start to see, hey, this was looking a little dicey the last time we were out here, and we
Yeah,
made note of it, but like now here's what it looks now, and we keep a full,
yeah,
portfolio of that from
for
every
sure.
home, so we can go back and look at that,
Yeah,
and everything, which I love. And your guys, um, do a fantastic job. I mean, when I go on and I look at everything that we tracked from all of our inspections, the pictures, the videos,
yes,
and everything like that, like they're doing everything to make sure that if anything happens in the future, we know about it, or we have it documented and we can send it to, our customer or the homeowner and just say, hey, here's what's going on and here's the measures that we would recommend.
yeah. Which I'd
So
like to go back to, coming, moving to control tech.
yeah,
That aspect of taking videos, pictures, and documentation was completely brand new,
right,
but I loved it.
yeah,
I was like, why isn't everyone doing this?
right,
And then when I brought my other guys on, they were just ecstatic. They thought we were in the future,
right,
which
right,
tells you something. Like again, there's not a lot of companies out there doing it.
yeah,
Um, but it protects not only the homeowner but ourselves as well.
right,
A beautiful concept.
yeah. Yeah, it's well, and it's like one of the things I talked about with Darren in one of the previous ones was like seeing's believing. And for years, a lot of the stuff we would do with, HVAC was flashlights and mirrors.
Yeah.
That's how we would show home. And we still like to, I mean, obviously you got to invite a homeowner down and show them if you find something and what you recommend and everything like that. Because if you just show up with a quote sheet and like, well, here's everything I recommend, and I don't know, like, I need
What's the
you to
why?
show me. Yeah, exactly. What's the why behind it? Like,
Yeah.
show me what exactly is going on. And like we were talking earlier about water heaters and flushing those and sump pumps, because
Yes.
this is the time of year where, the snow melts,
Yep.
sump pumps running,
Yep.
some people have two pits. Do I need an extra one? Do I need a battery backup and everything like that? What is like on sump pumps in particular, because that's one of the big things that fails, and that's why we have insurance claims
Yep.
usually for water.
Yep.
What's kind of your take on those, like maintaining or, the battery backups, or how long should they last, things like that.
Yeah. So primarily on most sump pumps, you get about a 3-year warranty.
Okay.
Now there's no real way of testing these other than just to manually get into the pit and turn the float on.
Right.
Um, on battery backups, they usually have a testing button that you
Gotcha.
can press. Um, and usually when we run our maintenances, that's primarily what we do. We just
Right.
see manually if they're working.
Right.
Um, now preventatively, I mean, the things that you could do are, clean the pit every now and then, take a shop vac, turn on the pump, let the water drain down, and then take a shop vac and clean the
Gotcha.
like gravel or dirt, whatever it's collected over the years.
Okay.
Um, but there's, the only thing that I can think of to prevent uh, a sump pump system is to just keep it as clean and lubricated as possible.
Yeah.
Now, those pumps are submersible,
Yeah.
so they're supposed to be in water. And so anytime you see a sump pit and it's empty, you could also toss like a 5-gallon bucket of water in there
Okay.
and just make sure that it's still within water. Because what'll happen is if it's not in water, you'll allow the air to get to it,
Yeah.
and then it'll oxidize the blades,
Gotcha.
and then those blades lock up, and then you're looking at a new sump pump.
Yeah.
So, all kinds of different preventatives, but not something normally the customer would know. And
Right.
that's why I primarily would tell our customers, these little tidbits and tricks, um, just to keep your assets safe.
Yeah.
Um,
He said assets.
I did, I
He said
promise,
assets. Yeah. Keep your assets safe.
safe. But yeah, when it comes to backup systems, there's beautiful backup systems out there, some of which you can pull up on your phone,
Yeah.
and you can test them off of your application.
Yeah. I
Um,
have a beautiful backup system
yeah,
you guys put in.
yeah. And so, there's not too many things you can do, but if you're coming up on that 3 year,
Yeah.
um, and it hasn't given you any issues since then, you're probably good. Just keep an eye on it,
Yeah.
because after that 3 years, the manufacturer's not going to cover it.
Right.
And then most times what we're looking at for a sump pump life-wise is anywhere from that 5 to 10 years
Okay.
after that. And that's probably where you're starting to look to replace it after about that 5th year.
Yeah.
Now,
That's what prior to us bringing on plumbing, that was what I usually heard
hmm
was 5 years.
yeah,
Once you get to 5 years, you're running a risk of something potentially being worse.
yeah,
So just be ahead of it because I've heard the horror stories
oh yeah,
of them failing, and then a lot of these plumbing companies go out and it's thousands of dollars, like way inflated
yeah,
because it's a crisis.
yep,
It's scary, and they're using and a lot of companies will use that scare
yeah, tactic,
tactic to it's I mean, and you're sitting there going, "Oh my God, how okay, well, yeah, I guess we got to do it."
yeah,
And then what happens is then later on you find out I just paid 5 times what that was worth.
right, yeah,
Why didn't, and it's crazy, but like that's the world we live in
it
is there
is,
are, a lot of companies have selling techs and that's what they do. Selling techs don't always know
right,
how to repair, they know how to replace and
right,
everything. However, with sump pumps are definitely one of those things that just like anything with a float switch,
yep,
anything that has a float switch. So for those of you that don't know, a float switch is literally what it sounds like. It's a switch that has essentially something that causes it to float. And when it floats, then it triggers something to turn on or shut off or whatever, anything like that. It's a safety measure. But with float switches, it's what our experience has been is it's never a matter of if they'll fail, but when.
when, yeah,
I mean, that's literally what it, and I've said that my whole life, even on the flow switches on HVAC systems for those auxiliary drain fans when they have their furnace up on the second story
right,
and they've got a humidifier. And I love humidifiers. Do not get me wrong. I love humidifiers, but I hate humidifiers because again, it's water
water,
and you just don't know. You could have something happen. Somebody puts a vacuum back in that closet where the furnace is, and they hit that
yep,
drain line, and the next thing you know, it's dumping, and then they're calling us, and we go out there and we're like, "Who put this vacuum in here?"
right,
Because things like that do happen, and everything. And so for me, anything with a float switch is going to be not a matter of if, but when that thing fails.
yeah,
It will fail.
it will, and and that's when you bring in the backup system.
Yeah.
And now backup systems, they have a longevity life of, relatively around 10 years.
Okay.
That
There is a literal battery.
Yes, DC power.
And how does that need to be changed
Um,
regularly, or can that go the 10 years?
that can go relatively around the 10. I've pulled
Because
batteries
it's
out.
got an alarm, right? If the
Yeah, it
battery doesn't
does.
work.
It
Okay.
does. Control boxes, the application, um, they alarm you like, hey, the battery's either losing power or the terminals are corroded.
Gotcha.
Um, and so, that battery life, it really depends on how much that backup is being used,
Gotcha.
or not used.
Gotcha.
So those batteries are usually like maritime batteries, like marine batteries.
Okay.
Um, so they have some life to it,
Good.
quite a bit.
Okay.
Now the ones we use are 100 amp hours. And so, you have no power, you're
Yeah.
good for 100 hours.
Okay. That's
Um,
good to know.
but as soon as the AC power kicks back on, the AC will plug into that control box. The fuse will convert it to DC power and charge that battery back
So
up to
about
100.
4 days, really. I mean,
Yeah,
really.
yeah, because you got to think about, you're pumping with a quarter horsepower pump or a third
Gotcha.
horsepower pump,
Gotcha.
and that's only
100
intermittently.
hours of pump runtime, not
Correct.
just.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So I mean, you could, yeah, about 4 or 5 days without power, and you're still safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, which it's a beautiful concept.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. Because it's like the way I look at it too is how much is your deductible?
Right.
What is your deductible, and do you want to pay that, or do you want to replace? And that's why do you want to replace the sump pump? Because to me, it's a preventative measure and everything like that.
Well, and then the
Because
priceless
it's like,
things that are down there as well.
yeah,
Most of us use our basement for storage.
yeah,
And sometimes that storage has
we
priceless
do
items,
pictures,
pictures,
old things from Allie and I. We've been together. We're high school sweethearts, so we've got stuff for all kinds of
toys from your
years. Yeah,
grandparents,
absolutely.
heirlooms that have been passed
Yep.
down.
And we've seen the horror stories.
Yes,
I mean, there's other things that happen. There's other, acts of God that happen that you can't
sure.
control, but this is one of those ones that like you do have
You have a little bit of control there.
correct. Water heaters. You and I just talked about this the other day because I had posted something on, or somebody posted something on our neighborhood page about flushing the water heaters annually. Make
Yes.
sure you're doing that, which obviously we recommend. And then somebody commented and they said, yeah, but if you haven't flushed in a couple of years, should you really do that? And again, most of my neighborhood will be tank style, so not
Hmm.
tankless. I have a tankless, but that was put in after the fact. So most of them are going to be all tank style. So what do you say to that? Like if somebody says, well, if I haven't flushed it, someone said if you hadn't, I think the comment was if you hadn't flushed it since you moved into your home, don't do it. And I go, well, I guess that's relevant on how old the home is and when the person moved in. And like I start
Yeah,
breaking it down, but like I get what they were saying. Like if the home was built in 2015 and it's 2025 and they've never flushed the water heater and they've never had any issues, should they flush it right now?
if they've never had any issues and it's been a long time, I usually say about 3 years. If you're past 3 years and you have not flushed it and you're not having issues with it,
Yeah.
just leave it be. Just leave it be because we don't know. We go to touch it and we go to service it, and we don't know how much of that sediment's eaten through the bottom of that
Right.
water heater.
Right. And we can still do the normal plumbing inspection and everything. And we
Yeah,
can still check everything
head
with,
to toe
yeah,
on
with the water
everything.
heater and all that. It's just that might, and we can still even flush it.
We can. We
It just
just
be
need.
a conversation that we say, hey,
Yep,
we're going to do this, but we just need you to sign off that you understand that we could flush it and something could
and
happen,
something
which
could potentially
anybody should
happen.
do. You know?
And now anything, if you had it flushed 2 years ago and the water heater's 6 years old, we'll go ahead and flush it. That's not a big deal, but um, it's that consistent base that we're
Yeah.
looking for. If you've been consistent, you can have that water heater for 20 years.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many water heaters I pulled from the 70s
Yeah.
and the 80s,
Yep.
and it's because that homeowner has consistently flushed it every year.
Right.
Um, and so you can get a lot of life out of these things. You just got to be able to maintain them.
Yeah.
Um, just because, it's a piece of equipment that you don't normally see or use,
Right.
it is the blood of your house.
Yeah.
So you got to keep it maintained.
Yeah. I don't like not having hot water.
I know.
I can't do it.
I'd
I,
get I'd get killed.
and I do love my tankless. I will say, because I love my tankless because we've got 5 people in our house. And so you know, I've got a high schooler, middle schooler, and then elementary. And the two older ones, I mean, they'll be in the shower for
Hours.
20 minutes,
Yeah.
30 minutes.
It
And I'm
feels
like,
like days.
it feels like days. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my gosh. But also at the same time, I don't have to worry about we're never running out of hot water.
Never.
That's one of my favorite things.
Yeah.
And those I know, with ours, we flush ours once a year.
Once a year, it's still recommended at
Yep.
once a year. Yep. And that
Yep.
and that's just to save that heat exchanger.
Yeah.
That heat exchanger is like your burner assembly for a tank.
Yeah.
And it's got smaller lines in there,
Yeah.
but several of them, and they just go back and forth. So it's really ideal that we go through and we put a pump in there and we run some of our descaling
Yeah.
solution through.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then we put in an anti-scale system to help protect
Yes.
that as well.
Yeah. The anti-scale system. Yeah, that resonation, it really helps.
Yeah.
Especially when you have a tankless in.
Correct.
You know, you don't have to necessarily flush it as often, even with it though.
Yeah.
Again, just because it's a high price item.
Right.
It's a very important item.
Yeah.
Just maintain it.
Yeah. And that's the thing is like the tankless water heaters are going to be a little bit more of an investment than the tank style.
Yeah.
But to me, it's what do you want out
Yeah.
of do you want unlimited hot water or are you just good with what you have? And we have
Right.
everything in between. But to me, I was making the investment to go to a tankless. I wanted to protect it. And that's why I put the anti-scale in there.
Yeah.
Um, from your guys' recommendation and also just from my prior knowledge
Yeah.
to a lot of that stuff because, I don't know what I don't know. And also there's a lot of things like you can only see certain things. Like I can see if there's like calcification coming out of certain faucets and everything,
Right.
but like I can't see the internals.
No.
So to me, it's like if I can do anything to help prevent that a little bit,
Yeah.
it's gonna make me feel better.
Yeah. And if you could see,
Yeah, I bet it'd be gross.
it would be gross. It would be nasty.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, no, there's several things that we can do to prevent losing a water heater.
yeah,
Um, and one of those things is flushing them
yeah,
consistently
yeah.
every year. Because another side of that is things are getting any cheaper.
No,
Um, and one thing
it'll
after the
protect
other,
it long term.
it'll protect it long term.
Yeah,
That way you guys don't have to, every 6 years, because that's the warranty on standard tanked water heaters is
yep,
6 years. And it seems like the one day right after that warranty, it goes out.
Mine was like actually 6 months before that warranty, but I was like, I don't want a tank style again.
You're right.
It was, this was at our previous home. So like it was 5.5 years. I turned on the hot water one day and I'm standing in the kitchen. I'm like, uh-oh.
It's cold.
And I go down and I can see it's just flooding into the sump pit. It's like, all right,
At
well,
least he was going to the sump pit.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, not all over the place. So to me, I was like, now's the time. If I'm going to do the tankless, I'm going to do it now. I love it because it takes up almost no space.
Yes.
And it's the best thing ever.
Yeah.
It's literally the best thing ever. Because it does. I mean, a lot of people they want to add space, and for those that don't know, uh, tankless was very popular across the world other than the United States.
Yeah.
Just like a lot of our furnaces and air conditioners are super popular in the United States, but not across the world. And that's why ductless systems that we've talked about before, they're popular, tankless. It's all because they're space saving.
Yep.
But they're super efficient too.
Yep.
So the technology's there. The people that have made these things, they're very efficient
Yes.
and everything. So to me, I trust the technology. I love the technology,
And it's
everything like
only up
that.
and coming.
Oh yeah, it keeps
Um,
going.
it does. And we get a lot of like efficiency pushes from both West Coast and East Coast.
Yeah,
And we're in little Indiana,
yeah,
so we kind of get that meet in the middle.
yeah,
Um, but we are seeing a turnaround
yeah.
on tanklesses.
Yeah, and there's a lot of efficiency updates coming here in a few years, which we'll get into on another one. But
Yeah.
but there's efficiency updates they're going to have with a lot of these water heaters and everything like that. And so that's the other thing is I try to tell people I was like, our industry moves so fast.
Fast.
But I mean, and I'm talking all the trades.
Yep.
Like all the trades, it's like every time you think, oh, we've got it figured out, we're we're good for a few years and everything like that. Nope, they're changing something. They just had the refrigerant change for HVAC, and they already have another one planned in 2035. And I'm just like, aren't we? Can we just be good with the one the one we
For
have?
10 minutes.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like I don't know. I think we got short attention spans. That's
Yeah.
why, Reels and TikTok is super popular
Yeah.
because this is like, oh, just keep flipping to the next thing. And unfortunately now our generation is in there and we're messing with things. It's like, oh, I don't like this refrigerant anymore. Let's change it in 10 years and let's make a plan and same thing with water heaters and everything like that. It's like everything's worked. It's been fine,
It's
but
been
but
fine,
let's
but
keep doing it. And I do understand a lot of the efficiency savings and there's a whole tangent that you could get off on with
oh
some of
yeah.
that stuff, but the reality is it's here and there's really not much we can do about it. We just have to be able to educate people
Yep.
and let them know what's happening. So I got a question. What's one of the grossest things you've ever seen in plumbing?
Grossest things.
Grossest things you've ever seen in plumbing.
I would tell you the I got
Don't
a
give the
couple.
homeowner name, so
No.
can't do that.
No, it's not it was actually a commercial.
Okay.
And it was a grease pit.
Oh,
Three
those are
stage
fun.
grease pit. Um, Not fun at all. At all. Probably the worst smelling substance you could ever smell in your
Yeah.
life. Um, Especially coming from a wing place,
Yeah.
which ruined buffalo wings for me for a while. Um, but no, it was disgusting. They had a clog, um, and the only way to clear it was hydrojetting.
Oh, that's
But
fun.
I couldn't get through the clean out from inside of the facility, and then they didn't have a clean out outside the facility, so I had to pop open the lids to the grease pit and
Oh,
go
it
that
smelled like
way.
a dead body.
Yeah. And this is at 11 o'clock at night. So I'm pushing my hydro jetter in, and I don't know what I'm looking at. Can't see. I can't see if I'm hitting the baffle to the other side of this grease pit. And I go to turn it on. It had just wound itself up inside the pit and sprayed me right back in the face.
That's
And all
fun.
I could smell for like a week straight was just disgusting grease and hot sauce.
Hot sauce.
It was terrible and horrendous. I had to end up throwing those clothes away.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
Oh, yeah. I'll give you one more.
Yeah,
So
yeah. We want all the things.
when I first started, I was in a customer's home. They had a septic. I was brand new baby, had no clue what I was doing. And one of my vet journeymen told me to go to this job, told me what to do, and I didn't listen. And so They had a clogged entire 2-story home, goes into a septic right outside. There's a clean out.
Yeah.
I was like, well, there's a clean out. I just run my snake through that. Well, I didn't think that gravity was on my side at all. Opened that clean out and the entire 2-story and septic came right at me. And so I was sitting there fighting tooth and nail to get that clean out cap back on, and all that PSI of just gravity, sewage water just right here in my face.
Yeah. That's
And
fun.
it's one of those things that you just like you're done with it, you look at everything, turds everywhere, toilet paper everywhere, all over you, and you're like, "Yep, I'm going home.
Yeah.
Good night. We'll
Where
figure."
some people would be like, I don't think I'm gonna be a plumber.
Yeah,
Like,
and a lot of people do, but after I
yeah.
tell you, after that, and after those disgusting stories, you become desensitized to it.
Yeah.
And a can of
He likes
primer.
to roll around in it.
I do,
Sit down.
you just open a can of primer, you'll be all right. It'll eliminate the smell for you.
I just picture my dogs like out there, like, oh, there's a goose, and just
Yeah, flopping around. Yeah,
oh man, that's funny. Yeah, it's so funny because it's like you run into these things, and it's like you tell people like not every customer and every job is gonna go according to plan. Not even close. Because like
you got to have it in the back of your mind, like, what could go south on here?
correct, yeah,
And you're
yeah,
like, let's not do this.
yeah.
Yeah,
And so to our customers, I say that that's also how we learn. So
yeah, almost definitely.
like
Again, fail forward.
like you said, like at the end of the day, it happened. And sometimes, I mean, I can think back to jobs. There's still sometimes I'll drive by a job and like there's something I did and it works and everything works fine, but I'm like, why did I do that? Like
Right.
I still think about it.
Yeah.
And it's been probably 25 years.
Right.
And then it's like it didn't mess anything up, but I know that like I should have done it maybe a different way.
Yeah.
But at that time I thought I was doing it the right way.
Hmm.
And then I mean there's all kinds of yeah, I have a bunch of those stories. I just
Yeah.
like to ask you yours because it's interesting to hear what you guys have run into that have been just one of those things that's just
We call them Thursday nights.
Thursday nights.
Yeah. Because our Friday nights, yeah, we just expect maybe a Friday every now and
Yeah.
then. But Thursday nights, for some reason, every Thursday, something weird happens.
Yeah.
And it just lights our day up. And we're like, okay, yeah, it's something we should expect it. But yeah, no, the horror stories are around.
Yeah.
And if you have me again, I have plenty to share.
Yeah. No, we want one every single time
Yeah.
we talk. And we want to talk about all the things. We want all the tea.
Well, I was a buck 10 soaking wet, so I was fitting in all the nasty places.
Oh man.
And
That's the worst. I will tell. So if you're seeing me on this camera, maybe I look heavy. I don't know, but it's because a lot of it's PTSD from being in the field, and they're like, send the skinny guy.
Yep.
And it's like, I'm not going to be that skinny
Nope,
guy
I'm gonna
anymore.
go get 2
I'm not.
triple pounders.
And because the guys know it, they'll see it. It's like send small technician, and they're like, because they just know, like, yes, I'm small. Yes, I know I can get in there, but I know it's going to suck.
Yep.
That's the reality is like, so when our customers, I had one where a customer was trying to politely tell us that like our technician was probably too big to fit in the space, and next time maybe send a properly sized technician. And I was like, okay, I'm picking up what you're putting down. I
Thank you.
understand. And so we try to make a note in there, send small technician. And I remember one of our guys, he doesn't work here anymore, but he looked at that and he goes, why do I always get these? Why always get the small guy? He's like, I can't gain weight. He goes, I've been trying to gain weight. Everything. And then Hoovy, in our install department, Hoovy's that guy. Hoovy can put down the food, but does not gain a pound to save his life.
Metabolism's reactive.
Oh, dude. And I look at a cupcake and it's like, I'm 10 pounds.
Yep.
Cholesterol's gone up a little bit.
I'm already breathing.
Come on, man. Yeah, exactly.
I got the sweats already.
Yeah, exactly. Got the meat sweats. I haven't even had any meat.
I know.
But like, it's just one of those things. Like, stuff happens, and we, like you said, we fail forward, we learn from it, and everything like that. But it is great. It is interesting to know that you looked at, the electrician. So for those of you who don't know, he said he looked into being a Sparky. That's an electrician.
Yes.
Just so you know that. we all have each in the trades. We all make fun of each other
Yep.
and call each other different things. And there's all kinds of reels and TikToks about the different trades like coexisting with each other, which are kind of funny and somewhat true in some aspects.
Some aspects.
It's sorry, Mike, one of my favorite electrician friends, if you're watching this. But anyway, it is cool, and it to me it just brings that aspect of like we are human, we do make mistakes, we learn from our mistakes, we move forward and everything like that. But like, you've got a good crew now.
Yep.
You got your brother Kellen's out there. We've got Wyatt, Jake, and everything, and Jack and Tabor and
Yep.
everything like that. What's your favorite part about that team?
My favorite part about that team is they all have the same motivation.
Yeah,
They all have the same motivation to just get it done.
yeah,
Thinking outside of the box on ways to get it done,
yeah,
which helps on the alleviation of phone calls.
yeah,
Um, but no, that team they have an umph about them
yeah,
that they just want to get it done. And whether or not that's leading by example or not, but um, it inspires.
yeah,
You know, and that's kind of my whole mission is to change that stereotype of being a plumber.
yeah,
That it's not, it's not always poop.
yeah.
It's not always poop.
Just most of the time.
Yeah. No, it's mostly water.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
And those guys really appreciate it when, when I bring them on, like when I started riding along with my brother. My brother was riding with me and he was a little iffy about it. And I was like, yeah, you might run into a couple of drains, but the majority of it is water, heating, water quality, and water supply.
Yeah,
It's just, it's mostly water.
yeah.
Um, you know,
It was not scooping out horse stalls.
right. Yeah, yeah, that's wild. Poor guy was doing that for like 2 weeks.
It's like, welcome to our plumbing company. We're gonna have you clean out some horse
Yeah,
stalls.
you're now a farmhand.
A farmhand.
Yeah.
So when I hired him, I was like, I want you to be a plumber,
Plumber, do
not a
jobs.
farmhand,
Yes.
Ellen. So he was excited about that. And
Yes.
he's thrived. Like we interviewed him actually before you.
Before me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and really liked him. We were like, man, this guy's got it together. And then when he told us how long he'd been doing it, I think he'd only been doing it a short time. And I thought, oh my gosh,
He
like
had a good trainer.
yeah. I was like, yeah. And so that's like, then when we talked to you, I was like, oh my God, this is going to be great and
Yeah.
everything. And then the guys we brought on since, a couple of them have come from other companies
Mhm.
where it's like, hey, you got to sell,
Sell,
or new
corporate number.
construction.
Yep.
Time is empty.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the biggest things I think that we kind of pride ourselves on is that we are non-commissioned plumbers. And I actually, and what's funny is like, I will see sometimes on Facebook posts and stuff like that people will post, I am looking for a non-commissioned plumber.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's sad that they know
It is
that
sad.
there are commissioned plumbers out there. And
Yeah.
it's like, and it's not that they shouldn't be paid. Everyone is going to be paid, but like there's a reality to like paying a technician and taking care of that. For our job is to pay them fair and take care of the customers and take care of them and everything like that. But when you introduce this aspect of like sales, what happens is sometimes you can convert a really good technician into somebody who then is trying to push you to do things that you don't need.
Yeah.
Where we are going to talk to you and educate you about the things that you do need and that we do recommend. Like we talked about the sump pumps. Like I know that not everybody probably wants to replace a sump pump every 5 years, but I know that they don't want to deal with water in their basement. So like we highly recommend this.
Right.
And here's what we're going to recommend. You don't have to do it.
Yeah.
But we at least recommend it.
I don't plan on pushing you to do anything.
Yeah.
I'm
the end of the
going
day,
to
it's
give you
your
my
decision.
yeah, I'm going to give you my professional recommendation. It's
Yeah.
not my house.
Yeah.
I will recommend what I would put in my house.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they love it. I even got word from one of my guys that they haven't been happy in a job before
Yeah.
like this. And I have a couple technicians that brand new greenhorns.
Yeah.
One from Chipotle, and I'm not too sure where
Yeah.
Jack was working, but
He was just all around.
Yeah.
So Jack actually worked here as a kind of like did an internship like
Okay.
at Control Tech in the summer when he was in high school. So
gotcha.
I think he worked here two or possibly 3 summers. And so he kind of like he bounced around the different departments and just kind of wherever we needed him and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And then he was kind of taking like a little bit of a gap year trying to figure out like what does he want to do. And then he reached back out to me and was like, I really want to get into the trades. And I said, what specifically?
Right.
And he was open to either side, but I said, well, just come on the plumbing side. Let's have you come out and learn
Feel
it.
it
Because
out.
he goes, I think that's what I want to do and
Yeah.
everything. Because I said, well, the good thing is if you learn it, you can take this with you
Everywhere.
anywhere you go
Yep.
and everything. And his dad, who's a good friend of mine, um, he had both of his sons. So uh, there's Jackson, and then there's Jake, which is his older brother, and he worked here as well. And he told him he works at a computer, works at a desk, everything like that. He goes, I just want the boys to see that like not every job is going to be behind a computer and everything like that. I want them to go get their hands dirty, and I want them to do that. And so they came here, learned, they liked the culture. And
Yeah.
I think that's essentially when I talked with Jack, that's what brought him back. He's like, I just like the culture here.
Yeah.
He goes, I was comfortable. I knew what I needed to do. I knew the expectation. I knew that you told me you weren't going to get mad if I messed something up
Yeah.
when you didn't. And but he hasn't done anything wrong. He comes in, does his job. He's happy to be here. And like I see a lot of those guys, same
Yeah.
thing, which I think is really cool.
Yeah. The primary of it is to, just engulf ourselves in that kind of culture.
Yeah,
Everybody's out here doing the same thing, and that one thing is taking care of our community.
yeah,
And I don't think, there should be anything else other than that.
yeah,
Um, that's why we're here. We're here to defeat, at least my mission is to defeat the stereotype of a plumber,
yep,
and a tradesman in general, and then bring quality of life
yeah,
and keep quality of life.
yeah,
Um, and I think I got the team to do that,
yeah.
and we'll only grow from here.
I do too. I think you guys are doing great.
I appreciate
Cool.
it.
So before we go, one last thing that I have is water quality. We have a lot of
Okay.
customers ask about water quality. We talked about the anti-scale and everything like that. But I also know even like where I'm at, I know the water. I won't name the water company that I use just out of respect because it is what it is. But it does have high levels of, I want to say it was like, I think they tested it was like, was it formaldehyde or fluoride?
Fluoride.
Fluoride, formaldehyde.
That'd be wild.
It feels like a Monday right now. Um, that would be wild. But my point is that the water that we're getting into our homes is not always the cleanest or the best and everything like that, which is why I ended up putting on a carbon filtration system because I
Hmm.
was wanting to really help with that and some other water quality products and everything. But can you kind of speak about if a customer or a homeowner wants to have their water quality tested, what does that process look like? And then what things are out there that can help with this?
So we usually run a couple tests. So we have a water quality analysis test, and what that process looks like is, um, we come by and we go to the kitchen faucet and a bathroom faucet, because in Indiana they're plumbed differently. The hard cold on the kitchen, and then the soft cold on the bathroom. That way we can test, how the water treatment's doing, and then we can test what the actual supply coming in is looking like as well.
Gotcha.
So we clean both faucet heads, with bleach that we can kill all that bacteria on the exterior because sinks are dirty. Faucets are dirtiest, and then we take a sample of that water. We put them in jars, that are already cleaned, and then as soon as the sample's collected, we tighten it up and we send it to a lab called Delta in Brownsburg.
Gotcha.
And they literally do an analysis of everything, and that includes E. coli, um, cholera, lead, everything.
Okay.
And so that that test, if you're inquiring on, you know what is that smell, or I just want to be sure, or you have a well. A well is a big one that gets tested a lot, because there's stagnant water down in
Right.
there. Um, that's a big one. We take those samples, we turn it in. Takes about a week,
Okay.
maybe less, and then we turn that paperwork in. Now that's our water quality analysis. That handles a majority of all your really high caliber bacterias or sediments or minerals.
Okay.
We can also do a quick one, which is again kitchen faucet, bathroom faucet, and we just have like little pool testing strips. Now these just are color based, but they're accurate enough for us to be able to tell. Um, If like for example, if you have a softener,
Yeah.
I can check the hardiness of that
Okay.
just by swiping it under both of those. If I swipe it under the kitchen, that's I know is going to be my hardest water coming in.
Right.
But if I check the bathroom and it's a lighter color than the kitchen faucet, your salt's working. Your softener's working.
Gotcha.
But if it matches the same color, I know that softener's not doing much.
Gotcha.
Um, Now, when it comes to like odors and everything, like you have, um, odors and colors,
My water, not me personally.
yes,
I don't have odors. Um,
but yeah, carbon filters, um, they help remove all those chlorine um, cleaners and chloramine cleaners that they put in the water, which municipality wise they put in twice a year.
okay.
They get 2 chlorine dumps a year, sometimes just one. But what you'll notice is like in the summertime when that those vats have been cooking over so much time, they've accumulated bacteria. And so they'll dump chlorine in the vats. And then, summertime comes around and you'll smell your water for some reason. It'll smell like a pool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's because they just clean the entire vat.
Yeah.
Now we do have recycled water here in some locations. And that might not be appealing to a lot of people, but that's the truth of it.
Yeah.
Um, and that's where you get all those chemicals coming in. Fluoride is one of the smaller ones, to the point where you can only remove it with RO.
Gotcha.
Um, Same with like different hormones in the water. You can remove that with RO. Um,
I've heard, and I don't know, you can maybe tell or provide a little insight on this, but I also heard that's why a lot of times, like with medications, they tell you to like take them to a medication like drop off if you're not going to use it instead of flushing them.
yeah.
Because like historically, if you go get like for me, I've had I don't know if I had like dental work or root canal and they prescribe you hydrocodone, and I'm like, well, I'm
Hmm.
not going to use this. And
Yeah.
your
Don't.
natural way was to flush it, right?
Yeah.
But now it's like, no, take it to one of these locations and drop it off instead of flushing it down
Yeah. Please don't,
because of the water.
because it's recycled.
Yeah,
A majority of our water, if you're in a certain location, is recycled. Obviously, if you're on well water, you don't have to worry about it much. But
yeah,
yeah, there's all kinds of things that you don't normally see or hear of that you're drinking.
yeah,
And if you're drinking from the tap in city, you know, that's just, the water supply. And you just got to get used to that,
yeah,
or you fight it.
yeah,
Um, Especially when you have like galvanized steel in there.
yeah.
Um, what you'll notice with different piping materials as well is that you'll get runoffs of like iron.
Okay.
Um, so there's all kinds of different, water quality analysis tests, things we can look at, um, and then turn in to prevent. Because again, that's one of my main missions is to give every and everyone that I come across the best tasting and quality of water
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. And it definitely we noticed a difference pretty quickly
Yeah.
in our home and everything like that because we were concerned about that. And I know there's a lot of people I can tell when, to me, one of the signs that they either have poor water quality or they don't trust the water quality is when I would go out to a home and I would see multiple stacks of bottled water.
Yep. Yeah.
And I was like, sometimes it could just be for convenience, but other times it's like, I bet they're doing everything with that water,
Yeah.
you know?
Cooking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's just it all it takes is a softener or a sediment filter, something,
Yeah.
um, to start that ball rolling to where you can have a better quality
Yeah.
system. Because I didn't even know this, but drinking from tap, you'll start to, get bags under your eyes
Yeah.
from the metals inside of it.
Wow.
You'll start to get lethargic again because of the metals inside of it. Uh, all kinds of things in the water that we just can't pull out unless you go through, you know, the proper channels to clean that.
That's wild.
So like you have a carbon filter. Um, that's a beautiful concept that is saltless. And that
Right.
was another thing I wanted to touch on is carbon filters are saltless, no bags, no salt. And it's a really good product for our customers that can't or have a limit on sodium intake. A lot of people don't, put that together is that our skin is absorbent
Mm-hmm.
and one of the biggest organs
Yep.
on our bodies. So when you go take a shower on limited salt or limited sodium intake, but you have a softener, you're just ingesting that.
Yeah.
And that could be the reason why you are taking that medication in the
Right.
first place. Several different things you can do to help bring a better quality life to you when it comes to water supply,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. That'd be a good name for a band, kind of like Air Supply,
Yeah,
right?
water
Water
supply.
Supply.
Yeah.
Man, see, you got the look for it. I think you can pull it off. I feel like a band is coming. Like, I don't know, Kellen on a banjo, maybe.
Oh, you know what? Kellen could rock the banjo.
Just saying, the banjo is like it's underrated.
Yeah,
Like,
it is.
you know,
And it's kind of scary. That's one thing I wouldn't want to hear in the
it's
mountains of Appalachia, I'll tell you that.
yeah,
It's like 1 in the morning, you hear banjos. I'm out.
yeah,
I'm running.
exactly. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. But well, cool, man. Thank you so much for coming on here
Yeah,
and talking and everything like that. Obviously, we'll do some more and everything like that. Just kind of talk about some other subjects and everything like that. But I appreciate everything, man.
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thanks for having me.
absolutely. Thanks for watching. If you guys have any questions, please drop them in the comments, shoot us a text, an email, whatever. And we love to know what you want to know more about here on Far From Robotics. So we will see you next time. And until then, stay warm and stay salt free
Yeah,
with your water
yeah.
and everything. And
Stay
then
clean.
stay clean. Yeah, no poop.
No
All
pooping.
right. We'll see you all next time.
Control Tech Heating and Plumbing.